Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning, guys. I'm just starting out here. Had a very rough night with one of our daughters being ill. I think we've woken up 5, 6, maybe 7 times. So I really need to wipe the sleep from my eyes. I'm gonna try and finish the card deck today. Well, actually, I'm just gonna finish it. We still have some. We need a few more illustrations that need to get colored. And then I'm gonna just give it a final check, really. And if I still have time, I'm gonna switch to finish doing a little bit more work on the Wondrous Expeditions book as well. So yeah, let's just dive in. It's been quite fun coloring up all of these illustrations. Really was a lot of work, and we still have a bunch more to do before we finished all of them. But it's been pretty fun. Just gonna quickly block in these basic shapes, and then we can start shading and jumping in to add more detail. All right, so let's add some shading. Right, let's load it onto the card, see what this looks like, see what it looks like. All right. Great. Yeah, I think it looks fine. It's nice. Doesn't need that much. All right, looking good so far. I'm just gonna add some more white highlights for contrast. All right, let's see what that looks like on the page. Okay, yeah, I like it. It looks good. Hey, actual alligator. Thank you. I appreciate you joining. Glad you like it. We're down to the last few illustrations, or maybe, I don't know, about 10 left, I think. It's starting to look really good. Here we are. Let me relink the file. All right. I mean, it's possible, of course. There's only so much you can do with a card design. Maybe it's another product from me, or but there are so many cool creators out there. There's you could be right. It may look similar to something already out there. Excuse me. It's the hay fever season. No worries. I'm glad you clicked. Well, my name is Chris. I'm from the Netherlands. I run a company called Loresmyth. And we do a couple of Kickstarters every year, and basically we make Dungeons and Dragons products. And most of it is books for GMs, inspirational source books, and a lot of the material is system neutral. So it's easy to use for pretty much any game system. There we go. So yeah, let me drop the link in the chat if you want to have a look. That's our website. Yeah, so these are cards that the game master running the Dungeons and Dragons game would use to create interesting travel events. So while the players are traveling through a wilderness, in this case through a forest, so the cards are really designed to quickly be able to generate ideas on what the players might see, hear, encounter, etc. I'm glad it sounds fancy. All right, that's another illustration there. So back to the cards. Oh geez, this one. Yeah, this is gonna be a biggie. So I'm just gonna quickly make a coffee and then jump in to do this illustration, but it has quite a lot of details, so I just want to take a moment to really make sure I hit all the details here. This one is going to take a little bit longer, so give me one sec. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a coffee, and then I'm going to start coloring up this one. I'll be right back. I'm almost back. Hey, I'm back. Not sure if you're still there, alligator. This is almost like a Bob Ross kind of illustration landscapey thing. Right, so there's a water. Let me start by blocking in the water. Right. So for a basic train, I think we're gonna go with browns. Some good old Van Dyke brown, right? Just gonna worry about the big picture now, and then I can come in and clean up the details a little bit. First I need to just block in the shapes and fill everything up. In the beginning it doesn't really look that good usually. It's only at the very end when things start to look a little bit better. first I just need to get all of the basic shapes in before we start filling with the details. Right. And I drop in a little bit of sky in the background. And perhaps also some more trees in the background. A little bit of a skyline. There's more, basically more growth in the background there. All right. That's a lot of brown. So I'll start by making things in the back lighter and things go darker in the foreground. So that's always a good start to get some depth in the piece. Just gonna add a little bit of color variation by picking out a couple of these rocks with a different tone, really. So it's not all the same brown. All right. I think I will want maybe a little sunlight to here in the spot where the adventurer are sitting. I'll pick out a warm yellow glow and just have a sun hitting there a little bit. Cool. So it's quite tricky to get a lot of detail in the all the trees without having to spend a lifetime on it. Yeah, this piece has a lot more detail than some of the other smaller illustrations, so it just takes some time to really get a base going. It just takes time to shade everything. It's already starting to look like something, so just gotta continue working on the details, really. Just gonna add some water spray here where the water hits these rocks. Right, I think it's time to have a look how it looks in the book. All right, very nice. I'm gonna come in and add the white highlights as a finishing touch. All right. Starting to look really cool. Gonna give this one a little bit more real estate because it's just a nice large illustration. So I think it can do a little bit more real estate. All right. Yes, nice. And I have to do that one, come up with a quote, but then it looks finished as well. So this one is gonna be gone. Right. Gonna be difficult to line up exactly. Hold on. Come on. Ridiculous. Yes. Yes. Okay. Right, so I'm gonna jump back to the card deck and make sure we've colored up all illustrations. I think there's one left. And then I may need to double check everything. That's a lot of legs. More legs. Yeah. Let's color up this bug, will we? I don't even know if it's going to be this color. I just need to fill in the shapes and then I can really start shading and adding detail. I can still change the color. Always more critters. And welcome, Bobicus. Bobicus. Not sure how to pronounce, but welcome. Not sure if I've seen you before on the stream, but welcome anyway. Apologies if I keep forgetting everyone's name. You're new, brand new. Welcome. Thanks for watching the stream. Where are you from? I'm guessing from the States, judging by the time zone, or are you from Europe? West Coast, right. I'm located in the Netherlands, so it's actually it's 11 a.m. in the morning here. I had a very short night. One of my daughters was ill the whole night, so I think we got up like 7 or 8 times at one point. So I didn't have a lot of sleep, but still trying to get work done. So I run a company called Loresmyth. We're a boutique and indie role-playing publisher. We make books and card decks and stuff for Dungeons and Dragons. And we do a couple of Kickstarters every year. And currently I'm finishing a project from a Kickstarter of last year. So it's we're seeing the end of the project now. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a dream job, really, right? I'm just gonna try and throw in a quick sort of an indication of a background. Doesn't need a lot of detail. It's just to make the creature pop a little bit more. I'll get some indication of tree trunks going. I think that's about all it needs, really. In the beginning, it always looks really shitty, and then towards the end, things starts to look a little bit better. So hold on, we're getting there. It just takes a little bit of time. So I think I'm gonna try a gradient overlay on the creature to get a sort of an interesting color grade going as a base to work on. Okay, yeah, I like that. So his underside is a different color than the top. I think I'm gonna give him spots to make him look a little bit more toxic and aggressive, really. I may have to tone down the colors a little bit at one point, but righty. Let's sprinkle a little bit more greens on top with all of the stuff growing on him. It's a little bit hard to get it to read well, so I'm just gonna try and shade a little bit of shadows into it. So you're up quite late then, Bob, because I think we're about 9 hours apart, time zone wise. You slept all day, all right. Do you have work with like really crazy hours, or was it like a crazy party? It's been raining all day here. We had very beautiful weather, super hot, and now this week it's just only rain, rain, rain so far. Gotcha. All right. Living the life. All right, it is starting to look like something. This one is going to be shown fairly small in the book, so I don't want to cram too much detail into it because a lot of it will end up getting lost, really. I think really what it needs is a little bit of crispy highlights on top. So let me jump in with the white brush. And add some really nice contrasty white spots to really direct the attention of the viewer to certain places. Really makes it pop. It's been a long time since I really could sleep in, really. Ever since we had our two daughters, it's been pretty hardcore, actually. It's free time, and sleeping late really is a luxury and a rarity. It's the good old days. Okay, that helps. So let me pop in a little bit more of these white highlights. Taking a lot of liberty with these. It's not really realistic or anything. It's just wherever I think it looks good. Right, so let's get this one onto the card deck, and it's featured in the book as well, so I'll check it in 2 places, see what it looks like. Right, it's not too bad, it's just a little dark, I would say. Because after printing, it turns out a few shades darker as well. So if it already looks a little bit dark on the computer screen, I tend to go in and make things quite a bit brighter. Because after manufacturing, printing, it just, on the actual paper, it usually looks a lot darker. So that's something to really be careful with. There's a lot of people just starting out, beginning book creators. They think it looks fantastic on the screen, and then they get it back and it looks like totally dark and unreadable. Still gonna pop the contrast a little bit more. All right, that's perfect. Perfecto. Gonna give the eyes a few more highlights so it looks more like a crazy insect eye. Alrighty, I think that was actually the last one for the card deck, but I'm just gonna scroll through the cards real quick from the top to see if I didn't forget anything. And I quickly need to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. Yo, I'm back. I got a sandwich. I was feeling very hungry already. Brighten this up a little bit more. Just gonna have a look at all of the cards real quick, make any final adjustments, see if I missed anything. Hey, Shifting Wolf, welcome. Welcome back, thank you. I'm doing fine. I had a really rough night. One of our daughters was, I think she had I don't know, sore throat or something. She was running a fever, so we had a very short night. I think I woke up, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, so I hope I don't look too shitty. And how are you doing? Oh geez, that doesn't sound good. I never heard of that. What is that? Yeah, it's with these young kids. They can feel very ill, and usually, like in a day, it's already gone. So typically not too serious, but the broken nights really, it's just not a whole lot of fun. Thanks, glad you like it. Right, I'm gonna take a second to read what you wrote. Wow, I had honestly never heard of that condition, but that sounds pretty nasty. Do you have a lot of, are you in a lot of pain then? And is this your first time surgery, or? Yeah, the cards turned out great. They look really cool. Just scrolling through to see if we probably missed one or two that somewhere that still needs to have the color version. Right, such as this one. There's about 80 illustrations, so it can take me a while to find this one. Maybe it's still in my downloads. Right, okay, gotcha. So when did you find out about this? Hey, what's up? Hey, and what's up? Welcome back. Good to have you. We are very close to finishing all of the illustrations for the card deck, and then I'm probably gonna jump straight in looking through the Wondrous Expeditions book to see if we still need to color illustrations for that book, or I know there's still left for us to do, but I just need to figure out what they are. But let's get this card deck done first. Oh, wow. All right. And how do you think you're coping with it mentally? Is it something that you can perhaps kind of accept as, you know, something you have to deal with it for many years more? Or are you confident surgery will really get rid of it permanently? Just gonna add some white highlights to make the piece pop a little bit more. Just a little bit more contrast here and there. I think that's already enough, really. Good to have you guys back. Wow, having everything removed, that Sounds pretty pretty devastating, really. Because that probably means you won't be able to have kids then. I mean, it's a heavy topic. This one needs to be a little lighter. Just to avoid it going very dark in when it's printed on paper. So just in case, I'm gonna brighten it up a little bit so it turns out nice when printed. Yeah, the art style turned out really nice. It's a little bit of a coincidence, really, because the black and white art is by an Italian artist called Daniel Commerci. And we didn't really plan for it to be colored right from the start. We only maybe wanted to color like a couple of pieces, but then it kind of looked weird having certain illustrations colored and others not. And then for the card deck, for example, it would be black and white again. So at one point we kind of decided to say, hell, we're just going to color all of them. So it's kind of a, yeah, it's kind of a coincidence or something that we didn't really plan, at least from the start, for it to look this way. And also, it's a challenge because Daniel has a very specific look in his line artwork. So if we're not able to get him back for every book in this series after that, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to maintain that art style, really, because it, you know, a lot of why it looks this way is because of his style. And yes, these are. This is a card deck to be used by the game master to more easily come up with inspiring and interesting things for the players to do and things to happen while doing wilderness travel. This is part of a Kickstarter we did a year ago called Wondrous Expeditions, and we are just now at a point where everything is almost finished. So I'm gonna switch to the book in a minute, so you can also see a little bit of what the book looks like. And yeah, it's been definitely the biggest project we've done to date. And we still need to do one product more in this product range. So after the card deck and the main book, we still need to do the pocket guide version. So we definitely still have a little bit of work ahead of us. Yeah, you can look at it like that. It's if you look at our website, let me throw it in the chat real quick. Have a look at our website and then look for the Dungeon Discoveries card decks. They are also something that we created. It's really designed to more easily kind of draw a card and have instant inspiration. So as a GM, it can sometimes be really hard to improvise. And really our books and card decks are... what is up? Seems my software is glitched out a little bit. The products are really designed to help the GM feel inspired and come up with ideas more quickly. So I'm not sure what happened here, but let me see if I can fix it. Seems like just a graphics card glitch. Let me save the file as a backup just to be sure. Nice. Yeah, they look really simple or elegant, I would say. But the amount of ideas you can get out of it really is quite endless. Just by making these combinations, you can use them for things to find in a dungeon, or to come up with like a really interesting item or a quest hook of sorts. So really there's a lot of different uses for those Dungeon Discoveries decks. Right, so I got rid of the glitch. This illustration needs a little bit more contrast. So let's pump it up a little bit. And thanks for backing the Kickstarter. I appreciate your support. All right. Yeah, so the deck looks finished to me. We colored all illustrations. So let me just switch to the book. The pocket guide is not going to be really different. It's essentially mainly the tables from the core book without all of the fluff, and it's in a smaller size, so it's easy to take to the table. So I'm just going to take it chapter by chapter, run through all of the spreads, and then see whatever pictures remain yet to be colored. I think in this chapter I pretty much finished all of them, but just want to make sure. Right, here's one that we still need to do. It's a little bit of a tricky one because of all of the black going on, but let's give it a shot nonetheless. The binding is going to be a wire binding, kind of like these really thick agenda type things. It's really the first time that we're doing something like it, so for us it's new as well. I think it'll turn out really neat, but we haven't done it before. This was the first Kickstarter that we wanted to try a product in a different type of binding, and just something that can accompany the main book. People were really excited about it during the Kickstarter, but I guess time will really have to tell if it's like something that we keep doing every time, because it's essentially an extra book that you need to make in terms of layout and design. It's extra manufacturing and transportation costs. So it's not not like a no-brainer or something. We really have to see if it's worthwhile. Yes, it is. That's why we went with the wire binding, so you can lay it flat. That's correct. Yeah, and they're actually more expensive to manufacture than the normal hardcover book. So just goes to show it's there's a lot of science that goes into these things. A lot of planning. This is a little bit like a Bob Ross kind of scene. A beautiful little waterfall. The color does help make the image a little bit easier to read. It was a lot of black and it's just a little bit difficult to see what was going on. Yeah, it's interesting. It's actually more expensive to manufacture than a normal book, but we cannot charge as much as a normal book because it's smaller and doesn't have all of the content. So it's kind of interesting how these things work. Commercially, really, hardcover books are I think the best kind of deal for us as a business. They're one of the most popular items, and because we can order a lot in a large quantity, the cost of good goes down, and we can save a little on transportation costs because you're ordering several thousands of books at once. But with these more niche products where you're ordering in lower quantities, and then suddenly the production cost really can be a deal breaker. Yeah, it's definitely a neat idea. So we're gonna see it through. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be manufactured, and then I think for the next Kickstarters, we're just gonna have a look at if it's gonna be a returning item or not. All right, starting to look like something. Just gonna try and make the outline a little less harsh. Yeah, I think the Nord Games pocket guides are different though. They're essentially a soft cover book, and they are, I think, a carbon copy of the normal book, but just shrunken down in size. So for them, it's actually a lot easier to make them, because once the normal book is done, essentially the pocket guide is done as well, because it's just printed on a smaller size. We consider doing it that way because, I mean, Cobalt Press also does it that way, and it would save a huge chunk of time. But we already sell softcover versions of the normal book as well, so it started to get a little bit confusing as to what was the added value of each different thing, really, if that makes sense. So yeah, but in hindsight, it was a little bit more work than we expected. And now with the project running late altogether, it's just cascades a little bit. But yeah, that's life. If you don't try something new, you'll never learn it. We wanted to... The Wondrous Expeditions Kickstarter at the time was really like setting a new benchmark in terms of ambitiousness, the level of stretch goals that we offered, which was just a lot bigger scope. We really wanted to try and up our game a little bit compared to the previous Kickstarter, which was Remarkable Shops. And I didn't know at the time that, for example, my mother has been in hospital for 16 months. And that all went on in the background while we were doing like the biggest production we had ever done. So there was a lot of things going on that made it really difficult to get everything done on time. So if I'd known it in advance, but of course with life you never really know these kinds of things, it would have been better for us to have a smaller, kind of like a simpler production, just one book, for example. Like Remarkable Cults is just the one book, and we're completely set up to do stuff like that. And yeah, it's just a much easier to handle production run. But yeah, it's we did push ourselves a lot with this, which also showed us a little bit of our weaknesses in our process. So we were able to learn, improve. So looking at it from that perspective, it was something that maybe is good that it's happened, because it forced us to improve and think how to get even better. Yeah, my mother is very fragile. Basically, she's had a lot of problems with her intestines, and long story short is that she's just not able to eat normally anymore. So she gets sustenance via through a tube, and yeah, so she has daily care in order to get by, really. And there's just like little to no hope that it will ever get better, really. So it's really unfortunate. She's had like eight surgery to the stomach, and there were many times where doctors called us like, hey, she may not make it through the weekend, so you got to come over. And so that was all going on in the background while I was while we were making this book and the card deck and everything else. So yeah, it was a very, very tough year. Yeah, I was not sure. Nord Games said they spoke to Cobalt Press, and they said the pocket guides were one of their more popular items. I found it a little bit weird, but after I thought about it a little bit more, it actually kind of made sense. So I can kind of sort of see why people would like it. But I think in our case, since we're maybe then we need to stop selling the soft the soft cover version of our books, because otherwise we'd have a normal sized soft cover version, a hardcover, and also a pocket guide. So I don't know. Maybe people will understand, but I can imagine it starts to get a little confusing in the storefront. Yeah, so it's essentially half the price of a hardcover. Yeah, we're at a point now where she's been home for, I think, 4 or 5 weeks. And that's about the best we can hope for, really. There's not really a chance that she'll able to eat by herself or to really live on her own without any form of support. So that's really, yeah, it just totally sucks. She's not that old, so it's really, really tragic, really. I think we can do a neat little trick here with the fog. Is that it's not really an illustration, but I could add a pair of glowing eyes maybe, now that we're coloring it. Just to add a little bit more drama and mystery. Yeah, let's try that. First I'm gonna work on the shadows and highlights a bit more. There we go. Adding a bit of color variation so it's not all those warmer tones. I'll make it a little look a little more interesting. But yeah, it's I think it's also a part of life as you get older. I'm 41 now, so it's really the time where you're gonna attend more funerals, more people are gonna fall ill, you're gonna get divorced and all of the good stuff. So it's really, when you're just a kid or in your teenage years, typically there's just not a lot going on. And then as you grow older, it's like more people die, get sick, and all of this stuff, really. It's like my parents used to say that at one point they were like in their 60s and 70s, and they were like, yeah, well, we're going more to funerals now than that we're going to parties. So that's when you can really tell your age. So let's not forget to go to parties and make our own party, guys. Yeah, it's like the Metallica song. It's sad but true. It's not really a way around it, I'm afraid. Right, so I think this one is almost done. We just have to check the fog really on the page. So I'm gonna load it into the book. And then make the final tweaks as I can see it in the context of the page. There we go. Yeah, that's a good idea. Really get all the quality time that you can get. My mother doesn't really live nearby, so we actually talked to her to convince her to come and live by closer, especially now that she needs much more care. But she really didn't want to hear any of it. So she is stubborn. Right, so let's try and add the glowing eyes. Not sure if it will work. It can look very comical or cartoony. What's the word? But who knows? Let's see. It is nice to have something glowing there. Well, actually, maybe it's fine as it is. It's kind of cool that you're unsure what it is exactly. Adds a little bit of mystery. Just gonna add a little bit of fog going on top of the illustration to sell the effect a little bit more. Yeah, that's nice. That's a smart move. Right, I think this one is looking pretty good, actually. Just gonna add a little bit of texture in the background as well. See if that works. Not really. Maybe like this. All right, that's better. Cool, so that's another one done. All right, so let me make a note that we need a quote for page 63. Let me just no, this is the main book. I've yet to start on the pocket guide because I didn't want to start on it until the writing was really 100% finished. Otherwise, I would have to keep going back and forth redoing things. Which sucks with layout work because it's already a shit ton of work. So if you can do it once, please do it once. We switched writers a couple of times, but all in all, there were 4 writers working on this book. Hey, Senbar. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. This is the Magic Gathering Pro Tour. No, just kidding. This is the Loresmyth stream. Like 3 a.m. Yeah, exactly. It's always morning somewhere. But we actually hired a permanent writer a couple of months ago. So typically we used to basically search and hire, scout new writers for every new book project. I don't know why really. I thought everybody worked like that. But really having to deal with freelance writers, getting them to deliver work on time, just the overhead of having to find new people with each new project. It made more sense to hire a permanent writer because we are working on 2 books at every moment in time, always. So initially I thought, well, you don't really want to have somebody permanently on a payroll, because you know, when a book is finished, they are you're paying them, but there's nothing to do. But we have production runs now and 2 Kickstarters a year where there's always a product in development. So either one is starting out new or one is in the finishing stages, but there's always work to do. And also writing text to go on the Kickstarter pages, and there's just always enough writing to do. So now we have a permanent writer, and it's just much easier to get things done, and less communication overhead, just a higher quality overall, I would say. Yeah, some writers like it. They like the stability and not having to jump from client to client. Others prefer actually to be like the free boys. It really depends. Right, looks badass. Let's see if I can find more illustrations that still need to be colored. Not entirely sure until what time I can stream today. Because my daughter was ill during the night. My wife may need to catch up a little bit of work. And I also want to try and go out to the gym this afternoon. Do some bouldering, some rock climbing. Just to stay fit a little bit better. But I want to try and get all of the illustrations colored up really today, because that'll be a massive milestone done. Hey, Ligre. Welcome back. No, I rarely play D&D anymore. It's all work and no play. Unfortunately, it's like maybe once or twice a year just for fun during a holiday with some friends. Yeah, it's a shame. Right, I need to check. Oh shit, I forgot. Am I still sharing my screen, or is it still stuck on the same thing? There we go. Apologies, I forgot to switch screens. Yeah, it's once I started doing this for a living as a company, really my time is so limited. And the time that I do have off, I don't want to spend it on even more D&D, really. Because I already worked the entire day on D&D. Most of my time, my free time, I spent making music. I have a little YouTube channel that I started, and I used to play in a little band, in a lot of bands. I recorded quite a bit of music and released it over the past years. And recently I got more into electronic music that I'm doing some stuff with. So music is really, really my way to relax these days. All right. Nice. Yeah, I really enjoy making music. It's, I've done a lot of different type of bands. I played in metal bands and experimental bands. I made ambient music. I really I enjoy doing a lot of different things. A patch, as in a synthesizer patch, or a pirate patch? Yeah, the modular. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were talking about that. I do have a... I do have this one, the Digitact, on my desk quite often. Just if I want to take a break, I make a little beat on it or just experiment a little bit. So, but the modular is up one floor. I do, whenever I take a break, I just patch it up and try some things or just have fun. Yeah. And it's nice because you can leave it set up overnight, or you can just come back to it whenever you feel like it. If you want, look up this one on YouTube. That's my current channel where I do some modular things. Hey Lotje, ben je weer wakker? Ja. Oh, heb je lekker geslapen? Ja. Moet je nog steeds zo hoesten? Ja. Nou, dat is niet fijn. Kom eens even. Voel je nog steeds niet lekker? Nee. Nou, een beetje niet fit. Slaapt mama nog? Nee. Is mama ook weer wakker? Ja. Oké, goed zo. Ben je er even bij? Hier, kun je even naar jezelf zwaaien daar dadelijk. Moet je maar eens kijken zo. Kom je dadelijk. Het duurt eventjes. Kijk. Hey. Dat is leuk. Maar wie is die meneer daar? Ja, dat is een plaatje. Die moet ik even mooi inkleuren voor mijn boek. Dat is mooi. Ja? Vind je het mooi? Ja. Oké. Ik zeg hem mooi inkleuren. Wat is mooi in het Engels? Weet ik niet. Beautiful? Of nice? Nee. Nice in het Engels is... dat je aardig bent? Ja. Ja. Nee. Nee? Ik weet wat je... Ik weet... nee, weet ik ook niet. Oh, je weet het even niet. Zo, dan kunnen we het mooi gaan maken. This one is called Lot, and she's... how old are you? 3? 4? 4? 4 years old, huh? And the oldest one is almost 8. Papa de Tiki van de nieuwe serie houdt van de hula dansen. Oh ja? Oh. Ik wil er weer af. Oh, jij wilt eraf. Nou, doei. Doei. Doe je even de deur dicht zo? Neem even af. Nou, nee, blijf niet. 2 and 3. Yeah, that's a fun age. It's when they can first start to walk and a couple of words. And my oldest one is already sometimes a little bit like a teenager, really. Yeah, it was here as well. So they made me these cute little handmade presents that they worked on at school, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. I didn't get to sleep late though. I was actually up the first, and my wife was still knocked out completely from another rough night with the kids. You would think we were at their age, they would already sleep well, but we still have a lot of nights where we need to get up for them, and there's always something. I think our oldest was 7, yeah, almost 8 now. It took at least 4 years before she really slept through the night. There wasn't really a night where we wouldn't have to at least get up once. So that was a heavy couple of years. All right, let's have a look what it looks like in the book. Okay, that's a little better to judge the context. Where are you? Oh, here you are, right in front of my nose. Yeah, we didn't have so much luck. We actually waited a couple of years before wanting another kid just because of that. It was so grueling. It was really not a lot of fun. We were pretty much done with the whole kids thing at that point. But it's all forgotten now. All right, nice. I like it. This one may need a little bit more contrast. Okay. Alrighty, nice. So we got all of them except for this one, but another artist is coloring this one, so I just have to wait to receive the file, really. So save, close, and all right. Just gonna have a look at the other chapters as well. See if we didn't miss anything else. Yeah, it's a really fantastic piece of artwork. It's really cool. That's what we call a chapter spread. So it's two facing pages. When you fold open the book, it's the start of a new chapter. So really cool. Come on, cancel. Click the wrong button. Right, these are all colored as well. I think this one can be a little bit more contrasty. Yep. Nice. I think we are getting really close to having everything colored. Here's one that needs to get relinked. We did color it, so there we go. Nice and disgusting. All right, fantastic. So this one is done as well. I think now we're getting to a point where I just need to relink the black and white version and replace it with the color version. There may just be a couple pieces that we still have yet to color, but I think we're really getting there now. It's just a matter of finding the illustrations. There we are. Hey, Ain, no. Typically, I try not to do pretty much anything. Sounds like a great CEO and manager. So when you just start out as a small creator, you have to do everything yourself, from the writing to the business, marketing, maintaining the website. You're doing everything, right? But as we started to grow, it was quickly clear that I couldn't do everything myself, so we actually started hiring people to do it. So really, I try to not get involved with the actual creation process too much. I do the layout artwork or the layout design, but it's mainly because this project really got backlogged that I needed to step in really and do some of the creation work as well. But normally I would try and avoid getting into this because it all takes away from the time that I can spend on growing the business, spending time on marketing and strategic things like partnerships, etc. So it's I enjoy doing it. It's been a lot of fun to actually work on the products themselves, like really in depth and hands-on. But it's not really ultimately not sustainable. Right, we got them all here. Thanks, Ligra. Yeah, it's turning out really cool. It's come a long way since the beginning. So yeah, typically I mainly try to do layout artwork and product direction. So I do a lot of the just the quality control, reviewing, sitting in on meetings with the writers and all of the team, the artists, to discuss the concepts and what the product needs to be. That we're nailing the creativity side of things. So it's much more a high level typically. And of course, I'm involved heavily in the beginning when we develop new concepts. So I really you know, help create the pitch and the master document and really the outliner, basically, that everybody's gonna work from. Really establishing the concept of a new product. I think this one was colored, but I've yet to receive it from the artist. So this one I need to check. So I'm just gonna make a note real quick. How close am I to affiliate? I have no idea. I honestly haven't ever looked into it. So where do I check? I'm that much of a streaming noob. I have no idea really. All right, so there's one, the Dwarven Idol. Right, and that puddle of mud. Just making some notes which illustrations I've yet to do. So I'll come back to those maybe after I'm back from my sporting break. This one we've done. I just need to relink it. All right, I'll have a look in a second. Where are you? Overgrown armor. It's taking a while to load. Come on, please don't crash. Jesus. Jesus. Now that I see it on the page, I want to make a small change. I want to have some more cooler tone in the shadows. Yes. Yes. All right, let me hide my screen share for a little bit. I'm clicking on the link now. So it says path to partner. I need to stream for 25 hours, which I did. Stream on 12 different days. It says 9 out of 12 different days. I have no clue what that means, if they want me to stream every single day of the week or not. Average of 65 viewers in 30 hours streamed. I'm very far off from that, it seems. Says, what? Oh wait, this is path to partner. It says path to affiliate already completed. So for path to partner, I have not enough concurrent viewers, I think. Or is that average viewers per stream? Yeah, sounds like I probably, well, I have not really an ambition to achieve it, really, because that's really for people that stream every single day like a game, or really their ambition is to grind and really be a streamer for a living. So I already have affiliates, it says. Right. Yeah, I get it. I'm just not sure if I can. I mean, recently I have a lot of work that I can actually show on the stream, me working on the layout, coloring, illustrations. I'm just not sure if that's going to stay like that forever, if that makes sense. So for example, when I'm working on marketing things, I'm working on my Facebook campaigns and advertising stuff. It's just sometimes a lot of things that I'm not able to share, or they're just not fun to watch on the stream. So I think if I would really want to go more into content creation, I think I would be better off creating really high quality YouTube videos, like for example a video series explaining how the different steps in product development, or what goes into kickstarting a project. So I think that's going to be much more interesting than me live streaming just to earn, a few bucks. Loresmyth is already so big now in terms of revenues. I don't think the side income is gonna really do much for for us as a business. Right, so here's another illustration that we need to get done. Here's the tortoise. I think that's done by the other artist that I have yet to receive. So I'm gonna look. Yeah, I know. It's so I think people really like the really the behind the scenes insights. But if I if I, for example, set out a week so I prepare scripts, I set up my green screen and my camera, and I spend 1 week to record, for example, 10 lengthy YouTube videos, and I record them and edit them and process them all in 1 week, kind of like a bulk session. That's going to be much more effective than just streaming for hours and hours every day. But don't get me wrong, I really like the streaming. It's just I know I can be a little bit on and off. Sometimes my mind is just not in the mood for streaming because I just want to get work done and not having to worry about being social to people. Other times I really enjoy the streaming, such as the past couple of weeks. I'll have a look how it evolves. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I know. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's kind. And I do enjoy it myself a lot as well. I just know from experience that it's really hard to keep a level of consistency. So I'm just not sure if I'm able to do it. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for the main book, there's only 8 illustrations left to be colored. And I think the majority has been done by the other artist. I just need to ask him to upload the pieces so I can add them to the book. Yep. Yeah, I used to be in a big office for over 13 years. I kind of enjoy working from home quite a bit better because I can just spend my time and my hours how I like it. You know, to go at the flow of my creativity and with my family. It's just a little bit, you know, even when you're not feeling totally productive, you can just take a morning off, go do some work in the garden or exercise, and come back refreshed. And at the office, you know, people expect you to pretty much always be there, right? Even if you're not really productive or feeling well, or if there's just not much to do. Right. Loresmyth life. Thank you. I think I need a little lunch break. I may be back later this afternoon. If there's still time to stream, I'm gonna do it. I also have a bunch of meetings lined up, so I'm not sure if I can still stream more. So if not, I'm gonna catch you the next time, which is probably going to be tomorrow. I should be kids free tomorrow, so that means I can work a long day. Yeah. I think I need to call it here. It's just when it gets exciting and cozy, I need to quit. But yeah, thanks. It was nice meeting you, and were a couple of new people. So always good, and I'll see you guys next time.